Hello and welcome back to another Galaxy of Heroes video. We're about that 15-month mark now, give or take a week or two. And as you can see in this top left corner, we've got 3.38 million GP. So we are well on the way to that 4 million for Proving Ground and Hard Conquest. We are sat in Bronzium 3, which is okay, you know, I would like to be pushing up more, but the Grand Arena videos are coming every time the attack phase opens. So please drop a subscribe, turn your notifications on if you are interested in that. May start streaming them in the future, so keep an eye out for that. So let's swiftly jump into what you guys are all here for, what my account looks like and my character collection. As you can see, of course, the big thing is Sith Eternal. I locked in probably a couple of months ago now, which is very, very nice. Got another couple of nice high relics. We've got Vader, Palpatine, Jedi Knight, Anakin, Sith Marauder, and Sidious, all at relic 7, which is very nice. A couple chilling up at relic 8 now, being Boba Fett and Piet, of course, for the Executor, which, as you can see here, is my favourites are tabbed. We've got Cad Bane and Bam we are currently working on, just to get them up to R5, just so they're in line with the other pilots, like, who is it, what's it called, IG-88 and Bosk. So working on that, we'll get Cad Bane up to relics in the next few days, which is nice, of course. Bam's got all that carrier tech he needs. These last two pieces here, I need 100 for each, so that is a shame. What else are we rocking with? You know what, let's actually have a look at the team split, because it's much easier to visualize then. Working well on Wat Tambor, getting about 30 to 40 shards each. Darkside GOTB, which is, you know, it's solid. Obviously it's not like the 50 out of 50 that you can max get, but it's nice. We're moving slowly towards that 7-star. He works well for me at, what's that, 5 stars with the Zeta. Does the job, gives the health tech over to Sith Eternal, just so Sith Eternal can recover that protection. Which one is it? The shield generator. That one. Give that over to Sith Eternal and just let Sith Eternal do his thing all on his own. This Palpatine Mara Jade team has not changed since I got these guys at the relic levels that they needed. This has been my staple team from very early on. Even when I was running Mara Jade at 2 stars with no Zetas other than like Merciless Massacre. And it does, you know, it does the trick, especially if you've got a quick Vader and a quick Mara Jade, and it is a nice team to have. But again, Mara Jade, a lot of carry techs needed, just don't have them spare. Same thing with my Imperial Troopers, they're not touched them since I unlocked Sith Eternal. Apart from Piet, who of course is now up to relic 8 for the Executor, which is great. But Dark Trooper, Gideon, again, the carry tech, Range Trooper, I don't really want to spare the time to farm him up. 2 Gear 13 CLS next up, which is very nice. We're missing, what, 2 Zetas on Chewie and 3PO on Chewie, which is a shame, but my Zetas are going elsewhere at the moment. But now I'm starting to get to a point where in the Fleet Arena store, I've not really got many ships or characters to farm left out of there, just Grievous really. So all of my Fleet Arena mats, apart from the odd 400 to get Grievous, are going on to Zetas, which is nice. Getting those Zetas in even quicker at the moment, which is lovely. So yeah, this team will be going up to relics very, very shortly, just because I need Jedi Knight Luke for Jabba, which I'll talk about in a moment. Bounty Hunters, these 3 are of course relic up for the Executor, which, you know, is very nice. Dengar's not a pilot, but he's a solid 5th on this team. As a the Mandalorian and Grief, again, the same problem. The carry techs, I just don't have any. Don't actually think Grief needs any at the moment. I'm not too sure though. No, he doesn't, but Mando does. And I don't have them set. I would like to get Grief leveled up, especially when I start getting Fennec Shand as well, because I know that team, and it can like, obviously not one-shot Lord Vader, but it can get towards taking out some of the characters for it, even if you have to clean it up without your Imperial Trooper. So I would like to get these 2 up to relics, just for the possibility of that one day, but I, of course, I'm not there yet. My Republic squad, coming along very nicely, of course, Jedi Knight Anakin, relic 7 for Sith Eternal, GK at relic 2, just because I had all the gear spare for him. I didn't need it for like anybody else at one at time, so I was like, you know what, I'll give him a couple relics, make him an even better tank, give him his Zeta, and it'll be absolutely solid. Especially under Padme's lead with the recovery that she has of the protection and max protection. GK's very, very solid. Was playing around with his 5th. I think I've decided on Shakti, but she doesn't need carry techs again, which, you know, similar story for a lot of my teams here. But we can work her up nicely over time when I've got carry tech spare mainly, which is definitely not at the moment. but she'll be solid because then she can lead into like a what they call a clone troopers team in the future. But we're not there yet. She's just chilling there because I've got nowhere else to put her because I had to take Grandmaster Yoda off for a different team, which I'll show in a minute. Geo's not touched since they got Gear 12. These guys are absolutely solid in territory war, especially with Pogo's Omicron. It is really good Omicron. Just use them for what's it called, Dark Side GOTB now. Do have a guide on how to beat that the Wat Tambor mission with Gear 12. So if you are interested in that or a newer player, go check that out. And yeah, other than that, they just kind of sit on defense for me in Grand Arena. I don't use them myself, and they're only sat there because I don't have enough teams. This team is just these two amazing Omicrons with my leftover Sith from SF Eternal farm. Savage is insane. He's like a pseudo Wampa, which is really, really nice. He can solo a lot of teams, especially a lot of weaker teams. He just really does the trick, can get you full banners, like the full 79 or 69, depending on whether it's your first battle or not. And Trey's Omicron is insanely strong. Highly recommended. Of course, it's much better with like Nyan and Silas. Nyan and Silas, that's not right. Sion and Nihilus. But I don't have them yet, so I'm just using them with my high relic Sith characters, and it does the trick. Savage gets swapped out for Darth Maul. I don't really know why I've still got him sat there, because I do use him as a solo most of the time. But yeah, so Darth Maul takes up the 4th spot on this team, because of course I've got him at relic 4. I don't know, made a short on this the other day. This team, low gear, right? Apart from Stark, of course, but this team gets me so many holds. It's got me the holds. It's like Night Sisters, like Darth Revan. I think there was a Grievous team it got a hold against in GAC. Looking through my history, people really underestimate it, so they don't throw a lot at it. But when they do have it, the teams it's been beat by have been like Gas or Trey or Omicron. So it's taken a lot for people to beat it, even at this low gear. But of course, as I start to climb that little bit more, get into the higher levels of Bronzy, and when people start having Jabba, JML, even Leia in a year or two's time, people are going to start having Wampa, and that is just like a hard counter for this team. But it is doing really solid for me now, and honestly, if you are super early game where you're not really coming up against many people with Wampas, then it is a really strong team on defense. Bam. Well, Dash lead, of course, needed Zeta. Only really farmed up Bam just because I had these random scoundrels just chilling about after unlocking Bam. But I'm not doing much with them. I'll get Bam up to R5 and get his Zetas on just for my executive fleet. And Dash, it's just thrown together, to be honest with you. There's nothing really to it at the moment. And this is my new big team that I'm going to relic up next once I have unlocked. Not unlocked. Once I've reliced my executive pilots. Currently slapping all the Zetas on Jedi Knight Revan. Got him up to gear 12, which is lovely. Bastards up to gear 12. Jolie and Mace gear 11, and then Yoda gear 12 with Zeta. Next Zeta I'm going to grab is Jolie's, and I will grab Mace's as well, just because then he can like swap around with a Galactic Republic team as well. Slap him on that Padme team that I've got. But Jedi Knight Revan, really, really strong team. Probably one of the best paths to go down really early game, which is really nice. But yeah, once I've got Jolie Zeta on, this team will be great. We'll get it up to either Relic 3 or 5, not decided yet. Just depends how I'm feeling with or how close I'm getting towards finishing my Jabba requirements. Ewoks, just needed for C3PO. This is the gear I did it at. It was really nice. Of course, the Omicron doesn't matter in that C3PO event, but I did it. I feel like this is relatively low gear, which is really nice. I should not have applied the Omicron. It was a waste. These guys just set on my back wall, and I'm hoping that the front wall can't get taken down. But yeah, I regret that Omicron. That was 20 Omicron mats wasted. I wouldn't really apply it, especially if you're just getting it for what's it called, C3PO. If you are farming up some of these Ewoks for Leia, I definitely would slap the Omicron on, just because then you're gonna have like Nisa, you're gonna have Wicket, and I think Chirpers at relics for Leia. I'm not sure off the top of my head. No, definitely Wicket and Nisa are. Then the Omicron would become worth it. But again, for many free to play players, that's not going to be until you've got like JML and Jabba. So it's going to be another few years down the road for most people playing free to play. And then finally, we've got the Wampa. Just got him up to 7 stars, which is nice for my Jedi Knight Luke farm. Of course, very far behind on Hermit Yoda. I've not even unlocked him yet. But Wampa is now done. got his Omicron, got his 80s on there. Once he's relicked up, he will be a menace just like Sabages, because at the moment he's just not really cutting it for me. But that's just because he's not relicked yet. Once he's relicked, he'll be great. So these are my daily hard nodes that I'm farming. We've got Wrecker first, just because I've got the Negotiator. So I want to finish off this fleet, which is why I'm still farming up the Y-Wing Bomber, getting close on that. Then the 8th Brother, which, if you've watched one of my previous videos, you know this is the only thing I'm missing for actually unlocking the Executor. And the Executor event will roll around on the 15th of October, and I would definitely have this done. I'm literally refreshing this node, twice? Just so I can get it done as quickly as I can. I'm doing that 50 crystal and the 25 crystal refresh, which, you know, isn't ideal, but I just want to get it done. Just want to move on so I can start spending more of my energy farming up Kyrotex at the moment. Skiffguard Lando, of course, because Jabba's my next main goal. Same with Fennec and Embo, though he is not a requirement for Jabba. I want him for territory wars eventually, just so I can put his Omicron on. Like in, let me just make a new tab. You know what? It doesn't really matter what we call it. We'll just call it default, and then we create a new squad. And we go here, we go to Hook Cartel, we grab Jabba the Hutt, Chris Santon, not Mob Enforcer, definitely not Mob Enforcer, Skiffguard Lando, Bouche, Leia, and Boba. And this will be my Grand Arena team for... Yeah, once I've got Jabba, this will be my Grand Arena team. But when in Territory Wars, I will take Boba out and I will put Embo on with his Omicron, because I think that's a better team, of course, just with the Omicron. And I think that is the way to go. We'll relic him up just for this team. I also will probably bring up some of the relic levels higher than what they are required. Not straight away, because I want to get Jabba as quickly as possible and want to get him up to like relic 7 as quickly as possible. But if we take a look here, and we go to Jabba the Hutt, we require Santon at R5. Who else is on the team? Skiffguard Lando at R5 and Bouche Leia at R5. I want to take them all to R7 is my plan. Jabba up to R7, and then Boba's already R8, and then take Embo up to maybe R5, just because he's just for territory war. But I really need to finish off my Sith Eternal, take him up to Relic 7. But the first major step and hurdle for me is Jedi Knight Luke. Like, I've got Wampa done, he'll be up at Relic 3 fine. Same with CLS. Same with these guys. It's just taking me a bit to get Rolo. Just I need to hope my guild does light side Hoth, just so I can get them a lot easier. If not, we'll end up leaving my guild to find one that is doing light side Hoth. Captain Han's a Cantina farm, so that won't take too long. That what's it called? Wedge's ship already got that 7 stars. Could do with leveling Wedge up a bit, but we'll see how it goes when we get towards the event. And then here, Hermit Yoda, need him. Again, need those get one tokens. Don't have many of them or many of the shards. And I probably will end up buying him using my Guild Event 2 tokens, which is less than ideal, but it is what it is. And Lando is a Cantina farm. I've been farming him up recently, but I stopped because I want to farm up some signal data, but he should not be an issue at all to get up to 7 stars and up to Relic 3. So those are the 2 major points of Jedi Knight Luke and then Jabba. And then once we've got those, we're going to pivot into like what I called the Holy Trinity of Galactic Legends in another video, and then go for JML and Leia eventually. Is my plan going forward. So let's take a look at my ships now. Once it loads, let's go. And if we go to ships, we can see, of course, my Executor fleet here. These are the 5 ships that I will use. Of course, if we look at fleets, actually, go down here. This is the starting lineup. I'm not going for the triple attacker because I don't think it's very good and can be countered by the finalizer, which we really do not want in GAC. And then my Executrix just has everything random thrown together that I'm not using. The Razor Crest should not be there. But these ships will eventually go with the Malevolence, but of course I don't have the Hyena Bob or the Vulture Droid, so it doesn't really matter at the moment. So it's just chilling with Executrix. My Chimera got all my Empire ships, which is nice. We'll have the Chimera up at 7 stars once I've got the home 1 to 7 stars. Like literally straight away, just waiting on that home 1 event to roll around. Of course, my Negotiator fleet, it's amazing. Really solid. It's the next best thing underneath Executor, I would say. So definitely go for that early game if you can. if you can get into a good enough guild. But yeah, just need to farm up this bomber. Currently using the Houndstooth there in Fleet Arena, just because it, of course, it is just a tank at the end of the day. But I do want the Y-Wing bomber because of my Houndstooth going with the Executor, and then when we use the Negotiator's mass assist, the Houndstooth doesn't get called to assist because it's not Galactic Republic, but the Y-Wing bomber will, which is very nice. So yeah, we're rocking four, I would say 3 nice fleets and 1 okay fleet. Of course, not ideal lineups for the Chimera or the Executrix, but ones that we'll do now. Of course, we really want to get these reinforcements leveled up, but just can't spare the time right now or the resources. But is that everything there is to talk about? I'm pretty sure my modding's going well. Got some really solid mods now. Starting to mod up my pilots for the Executor, which is nice. So like you can see, Bosk's all 6-dot mods. CAD, I'm working on him at the moment. Who else? PF, of course, has all 6-dot mods because he is the capital ship pilot. Working on Boba too. Actually, I'm working on Boba, not CAD at the moment, which is why he's got one of these. Who else is a pilot? IG-2000's kicking... Oh, not IG-2000. IG-88. Yep, see it down here. He's got full 6-dot mods. I think they're all my pilots for the Executor, which is really nice, you know. Can't complain. And then my most important characters have started 6-dot modding. Thrawn, of course. He's been amazing in the new show, by the way. Can't wait to watch the next episode of Ahsoka in a couple of hours after this has been uploaded. And then, of course, Sith Eternal. Vader are the main two that get my 6-dot mods. But I think that is everything I want to talk about. We've got Datacrons, but who really cares? They'll be obsolete in a couple of months, these sets. But it is nice that they've changed the Datacrons and made them a bit more accessible to people with lower relic rosters, which you can't complain about, really, can we? We can complain that they are still in the game, though. We really do not like them. But yeah. Other than that, finished the last conquest, made it all the way through. So now when I actually unlock the hard conquest, I should be able to just go into hard conquest. I shouldn't need to get to Formula and then unlock it. I'm not sure how that works, to be fair, actually, so not sure whether that will work. But we've got no conquest at the moment in Arena. Sitting, lingering around that between like 15th and 20th at the moment. I'm always getting the 100 crystals, but I need that Executor to punch up to the next level, get into that top 10, get that extra 100 crystals, so 200 a day. Squad Arena, I just really don't care about. It's literally just there to farm prestige at the moment. But I just don't care, is the problem. Like, Sith Eternal's really annoying because he's best with Wat Tambor on attack, but if you just leave him with Wat Tambor, then he'll just get beat by anything. He gets beat by SLKR, then of course there are a lot of them kicking about. But I think I will call it there for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. The support on the channel recently has been amazing, so if you have stuck around to this point, please like, please subscribe, and please leave a comment if you've got any input you'd like to share. It's all completely free, and I'll see you guys in the next one.